All right, hey guys, it's Matt here.
And Dave.
And we're doing another battle report here. So I have myself playing a Buddy Drop Pod Blood Angel list in an LVO format. And then we have John.
Who's running an Eldar format army.
It's generic Eldar. We have Wraith Knights. Pretty much John's plans. He wants to run 3 Wraith Knights down people's throats. I have 2 sets with some Buddy Pod Marines and a bunch of those awesome Assault Marines. So John gets the Infiltrate Warlord trait. I do have 5 Marines deployed in that top left corner, which I didn't actually care to... We didn't actually worry about recording because I literally put 5 bodies down. You can see the blue one right there.
Kind of hidden.
Yeah. John infiltrates 18 inches away, dead center of the table.
Right at the relic.
Yeah. Luckily for me, this is relic, by the way. Thank you for pointing that out. Luckily for me, I have bottom of turn, so I love it. John jumps up and grabs the relic. He's got Wraith Knights. Oh, look, my deployment phase, a.k.a. turn 1 of drop podding. I get 5 pods in. I decide to bring in a tactical one there in the back. Just to get extra stuff on that relic. I'm kind of worried he's on that objective in case he pushes down. I also got the Maelstrom that's have 3 units of my own scoring zone, none of his.
That being said, we're looking at an LVO mission, meaning that there's a 33% chance he could get an objective. So it was good for him to be able to hold one early on, both with drop pod and squad.
Yeah, and I could have gone for the one in the bottom left. I figure I have an OBSEC pod I can just drop down there whenever I get it. Luckily for me, I do get to see my Maelstroms for that mission before I roll for reserves. I get to choose what order, so that's nice.
You're seeing the Sentinels of Terra, Centurions dropping down now. One of the 3-mans coming in out of a Blood Angels drop pod. You're going to see another one of them coming in shortly. It's also good that we note that this is night fighting turn 1, so those Wraith Knights are towing ruins on a 3-up cover.
Well, the Sens luckily ignore that. Stupid Omniscope. The reason I went Sentinels of Terra is for the Shard of Orsak, or Bones of Ozark. It's a nice upgrade that lets me just act as on mastery level 2. Also, Sentinels of Terra, I like their sense a little bit better. I think you get a little bit more options with them. I also like being able to bring them out of Elite. I like to bring them out of Elite instead of Heavy, because I don't want to pay the points for Tiggy. I'm not worried about Invis on a star, and that way I don't have to give up points for big guns every time.
Absolutely.
Ha. I bring an Assault Man back there. Here come my other Sents. I brought them in. I partially considered keeping one of them out. To let the Wraith Knights kind of scatter, and after seeing how little I did with the Melt-A-Guns against the Wraith Knights, I'm very glad I brought them all in. Just because it gives me enough to get First Blood, which in LVO is literally 10% of the points that your opponent can never get back. So I have a decent shooting base here. I'm able to take out the one Wraith Knight, put a couple wounds on the other blue one. The one with the relic is unfortunately going to be unscathed. And he winds up causing some issues later.
Yeah, you're going to keep note to that, as that does come into play long term.
So John winds up bringing in, he gets 3 of his Serpents in, one of the Fire Dragon ones, 2 Dire Avengers. He keeps them really far back. Obviously, he doesn't want to let them melt. I have a lot of melt in my army. He pushes forward with the 1, and he goes through this issue of, do I shoot at the Sents or not? I'm getting no cover, I'm out in the open. It winds up being a negative choice. As we'll see here in a second, he does kill 2 Sents, but he doesn't make the charge because I fail lead and run. And this becomes very bad for his Wraith Knight. Bringing a pod in the top, Assault Marine. I like to give a nice 10-inch cushion from the table edge. I feel that's a safe number where I'm willing to take that risk until I scatter 12 inches that way. Okay, and then I roll 0-1, and it blows up.
And Murphy's Law takes place.
Yes, so I'm down 115 points. Not the big of a deal. Thank God it wasn't kill points. That's 2 kill points I was giving up. But it is pretty much a Wave Serpent kill I'm losing out on here. Which was kind of brutal. I've got a lot of melt. That was a triple melta unit that just disappeared.
Right, and if not for your Centurions, that could have been a First Blood that you lost.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I was going to lose First Blood at some point, probably. Anyway,
certainly, but...
Yeah. So his Wraith Knight in the middle, the red one, charges into the Sents. I wasn't able to get far enough back. I was like, because of where my drop pod scattered to, I was kind of sitting right there. He was able to get a charge off. Poses very poorly for the Sents.
You see him testing the distance for a Centurion to confirm that it's going to have range on the Wraith Knight to be able to take it down. It really is his last standing ability to be able to take it down, sort of mass melta firepower.
Yeah, which winds up paying off. The mass melta is not as bad as you expect. He's still getting 4-up cover, but winds up not being enough. Able to take it down with everything. Take out a Wave Serpent in the process. I lose all the other Sents, though. And now that Wraith Knight is sitting there in combat with a Librarian. Blood Angel's Librarian coming up strong. That was the turn. I did run away on this one. I did manage to cast Force, but failed to wound him. Figure would have been nice. I'll just, go up and touch it with my axe on the 6 and blow up a Wraith Knight.
But keep your eye on that Librarian, as he does end up recuperating a lot of value later on during the course of the game.
These Warp Spiders come in. They actually wind up being pretty good for John. I'm trying to push the Marines up the table. That relic you see that John had to drop with his Wraith Knight is now kind of sitting in the middle of the table. It's that black and white objective. I'm trying to get bodies to it. And one of the bad things with pods are once you drop down, you're kind of anchored to where you are. And I expected John to run the relic back to his side of the field. That's why I started bringing pods to his side of the field. Well, then he just doesn't do that. And he leaves pods in the relic in the middle. So now I'm not in the middle for the most part and kind of trying to scramble my butt to get to a relic. And it winds up kind of playing poorly for me as he now just throwing mass gunfire as I'm walking Marine bodies, 5-man Marine bodies across the field down staring down Wave Serpents. So John positions here. His Fire Dragons do come out of the vehicle. Probably he just wanted to dump a lot of my backfield stuff and protect his Wave Serpents a little bit. That Wave Serpent did jink. Warp Spiders do some work, taking out all of that unit there. Now I gotta deal with the Warp Spiders. As much as they're not a huge deal, they're gonna get him Line Breaker, even though he's got a lot of movement in general. But I have bought him a turn. I'd like to be able to deny him that point if possible. I move up to get my Librarian in range, and the Scent if I want to shoot, but Librarian has Psychic Shriek, so that gives me a good option there. Winds up paying off big, and I get a big Psychic Shriek off. Moving the rest of my army up, the Librarian buddies up with the one dude left and tries to assault into the Wraith Knight. I do make it in and lose 2 of the guys. So as you can see, there are not a lot of Warp Spiders left. My Psychic Shriek killed 6 of them. Yes, I'll take that lucky roll anytime I can get it. The Swooping Hawks came in. They're going to be relevant here as a kind of a nice little backfield push. And then he's just kind of positioning. At this point, John's playing the positioning game with the Wave Serpents. That's why they're really good. And, haha, look, his Swooping Hawks kill his own Warp Spider. The Swooping Hawk Blast scatters on the Warp Spider. I lose my Librarian in the process. Now that Wraith Knight's running free. And I lose a couple other random scattered Marines. That Wraith Knight is now an issue.
And that did just cost him Warlord.
Yes. Oh, no, the other one, the one's on hiding in the back there.
Ah.
So I bring a drop pod in, one of the OBSEC pods in with 10 men in it, right on top of the relic. I figure I've got an OBSEC pod, 2 OBSEC 5-mans with more Marines walking their way there. It's turn 4 right now. If the game ends early, he physically can't kill all of that off that relic. He does have a Wraith Knight lurking and 3 Wave Serpents. Mathematically, he could. And he does a pretty damn good job trying. I cluster up that giant fight in the corner with Fire Dragons. I figure I'm safe if I try to get Line Breaker from just hugging in combat forever. My scouts come on there and wind up taking out the Swooping Hawks. So now he dumps his whole army out. It's turn 5. The Relic's there. The Relic is, by the way, it's kind of on the top left end of the drop pod.
Towards the top of where the 5-man tactical squad is. And you're seeing him drop out lots and lots of Dire Avengers. He's really relying on that Blade Storm to be able to get him some potential pseudo-rending on all those Marine bodies. But again, even if at the point he's at, that drop pod is giving him a nice 3-inch bubble to avoid his OBSEC making range to the objective.
And we actually look, and yeah, he can't get the Dire Avengers in range because of where the pod is. You have to come the long way around. It doesn't have enough movement, even with the combat move. So he's in a kind of a tight spot. He's got to pretty much at this point, he can't kill all 3 unless he gets really good rolls. So he's got to look to turn 6 at this point. All that shooting winds up taking out the 1 5-man. He leaves the other 5-man in front because he's going to charge it with the Wraith Knight. Because he can't actually win the game on turn 5, he goes with a smart move. He charges the 5-man, kills them, so he's got a really good spot on turn 6. So at this point, my only plan is try to get dudes there. You see he threw a Wave Serpent in the bottom corner. I just want to make sure to deal with that. It's empty. Just keep denying him Line Breaker if possible. Start moving Marine bodies that way. I'm able to take out the Wave Serpent here with the scouts assaulting it. And now we're on to turn 6 because the game didn't end. As much as I would have loved that to happen.
This was very costly, as you would have seen at that point. He had control of multiple objectives, as well as the Relic. Was ahead on Line Breaker and First Blood, so he was doing really good on his objective control.
Yeah, at that point it would have been a 9-1 win for me. I guess he did not Line Breaker. 9-0 win on turn 5. So John does a really good job here, just playing smart and cleaning up. He knows he has to get the relic. That's 4 points towards the max 10. That's his focus. He's gonna get a good he's got a good push on Maelstrom now at this point. He pulled it within 1 at the end of this turn. So he brings the Wraith Knight up, makes sure the Wraith Knight's gonna be able to take out that drop pod, and make sure he then has a Dire Avenger squad there to kind of grab the objective, have something obsec. So even if my Marines do somehow make it to him, he's got it covered. He winds up just being able to turn around and shoot and blow up the drop pod. Surprise, surprise. He then keeps the Dire Avengers a little close. He probably should have kept them out and then ran them in, just so they don't potentially die to an explosion. Winds up not mattering too much, but still always something you want to watch. The Wave Serpent's now pushed. He kills that 5-man squad that was kind of trying to make its way there. He kills the drop pod. We don't even look at my movement on turn 7 because it's kind of moot. He's just going to wind up cleaning up my Warlord and my Cent there. All in all, John had a big turnaround. He was able to weather that early assault. He's going to get this game 9-2. But if you guys want to check out other games, always make sure to look at our YouTube channel. You can see all of our other games, and have fun.
Thank you for joining us.